Are you struggling to win your battle against your pornography addiction? Do you find yourself giving up in defeat after a week, 2 weeks, a month, or maybe possibly even just the first slip or relapse that you experience? You know, men, if we're going to conquer and transcend this addiction, we have to go into this fight with a game plan. We have to go into this fight with the fortitude and perseverance that no matter what, we are not going to give up and believe that freedom is our destination. Freedom is the outcome that we are chasing. Now, today I want to share with you the first 5 steps that if I woke up tomorrow and I found myself back in 2019, still struggling with this pornography addiction, the first 5 steps that I would take to begin to win this fight, have some success, and begin to create a life that is porn free. Now, for those of you that are new here, my name is Coach Frank Rich, founder of Rebuilt Recovery and host of The Rebuilt Man. And back in 2019, I conquered and broke free from a 20-year pornography addiction. And it set me down this path and journey of helping thousands of men all across the globe win the same fight and same battle. Our curriculum with Reboot Your Life has helped over 1,100 men create a life that is porn free. Through this podcast and our other medium platforms, we reach 60 to 80,000 men per month. Our message is heard, our message is felt, our methods are proven. And if you're looking for some helps and some steps, make sure to subscribe to this channel right now. Turn those post notifications on. But we have a free gift. We have a free training. I put together a 12-step framework breaking down why the old methods do not work and what you need to do in order to get control of this behavior and create the life that you know you're here to live. If you visit rebuiltrecovery.com/12 steps, you get access to this 12-step training today. But like I said, if I woke up tomorrow and I looked myself in the mirror and I was the 35-year-old version of Frank and I was still struggling with this addiction, what are the first 5 things I would do? Would I get an internet blocker? Would I join a program? Would I talk to my pastor? Maybe, but I'm revealed to you in the exact order of how I would do this. So hopefully if you find yourself stuck in this battle, not winning this fight, you will leave today with some tangible steps. The first step, gentlemen, is to get radically honest with yourself. Not just about the fact that you have a pornography addiction. That's not enough. But how is this addiction negatively impacting you and the quality of your life right now? You know, I remember when I had Dr. Anna Lemke, author of Dopamine Nation, Stanford's director of addiction, on the podcast. And I wanted to dial in and get clear on how we're defining this word addiction. And straight out of Anna's mouth, addiction is defined as the continued or repeated use of substance and a behavior. So we're talking about a behavioral type of addiction, the continued use or repeated use of this behavior despite the negative outcomes to self and or others. So if we're constantly returning to something and it is creating negative outcomes and consequences within our life and we haven't broken free from it, then when we're getting radically honest with ourselves, it's not just I struggle with this behavior, but I struggle with this behavior and it disconnects me from my wife. I struggle from this behavior and it removes me from being present with my children. I struggle with this behavior and it holds me back in pursuing the things that are meaningful to me. I struggle with this behavior and I cannot find the motivation to get to the gym and to get in shape. You see, when we get radically honest with ourselves, we're now working with a painting board of this is what I'm dealing with. And that allows us to create a new vision for what we can do. So step number 1, gentlemen, is to get radically honest with yourself about the entire situation. Then from there, it's bringing somebody else into this fight with you. This is where you go talk to your mentor. This is where you reach out to your pastor. This is where you have a conversation with your friend. Make sure that you find the right person. This conversation needs to be truthful and honest, It needs to be done in a safe container and environment. Now, some of you may be thinking, can I tell my wife? Chances are if you're struggling, your wife probably already knows. But if you're 100% clear that she doesn't, I'm not sure this is the exact time to do that. Unless you've already got a solid game plan on how you're going to conquer and you've built up a lot of trust within her, she may not be the first person. Begin to get some wins under your belt before you bring her into the communication cycle. So you've gotten radically honest with yourself. You've laid out the entire situation. You're clear on the negative consequences. You've brought in some help and accountability. The next thing is to learn to deny yourself. Learn to say no. And the step that we use here is fasting from food to 48 to 72 hours. Go on a prolonged fast. Spend some time in prayer and meditation. Spend some time in your thoughts. And when the feelings and urges to eat come up, sit in them. What is it you're actually feeling? Are you eating out of a pattern? Are you eating out of an escape? Or were you really hungry? And you're going to get hungry. It's okay. But learn to decipher between the difference of I need this food for survival or I need this food to distract myself from the current moment. Because here's what I can tell you is the second one, the distractions, the removal, the sedation that we use food for, many times feels exactly the same way that our triggers and urges for pornography feel. So go on this prolonged fast. And right at the end of this, as you're coming towards the end of breaking your fast, step number 4 here is to write out a clear vision for your life without pornography. You've laid out all the negative consequences in step 1. It's impacted your relationships, your mental health, your emotional health, your confidence in how you view yourself, your financial health. It's disconnected you from relationships. It's removed community from your life. So in step number 4, begin to fill those buckets and fill those holes up. What would the ideal scenario look like for you if you were free of pornography? Lay it out crystal clear. But more importantly, just don't write a wish list and dream list of what you hope to achieve. Get clear on what you want and get clear on who you need to become in order to make that happen. Now we have a blueprint for who we need to become. So we've gotten radically honest with ourselves. We've recruited the necessary support and accountability. We've begun to deny ourselves by fasting from food. We've laid out a clear vision for the man that we can become. And step number 5 is to begin to find things every single day to be grateful for. I know what it feels like to be a man that is struggling with a pornography addiction. You don't feel good about yourself. You don't feel good about life. You see the world through a foggy lens. Oftentimes it's glass half empty everywhere you go. If you're not grateful for the things that you have, you're not going to be driven and motivated and inspired to create new things. So if you're going to create this new life, you have to be grateful for the one that you already have. Practice this every single day. In the morning, what am I grateful for? How does that make me feel? And why is that important to me? You know, a lot of people will say that they're grateful or they're blessed. But how does that actually impact you on a positive spectrum? So it's not just I'm grateful for another day. I'm grateful to have another day to go out there and conquer my dreams. And that makes me feel alive and fulfilled. And that's important to me because I want to live up to my potential as a man. Get radically honest with yourself. Step number 1, recruit the help and support and accountability that you're going to need for the long haul. Fast from food. Learn to say no. Write out a clear plan and map for the man that you can become and begin to live in a state of gratitude. And I told you at the beginning, if you are struggling and you're actually looking for the steps beyond these first 5, I put together a 12-step training. If you visit rebuiltrecovery.com/12 steps, you get access to this right away. We've linked it down there in the show notes below. But guys, if you're new, over 60% of the people here on YouTube are not subscribed, guys. Take a moment. Literally, it takes half a second. Hit that subscribe button. And you'll also see a thumbs up right there. Hit that like. Tell the algorithm, guys, that these videos are helping you and help us get us out there in front of more and more people. But Coach Frank of the Rebuilt Man, we love you guys. We'll see you in the next one.